Haunted Michigan. Terrifying tales.
Welcome to another episode of Haunted Michigan. I'm your host, Meltdown. So happy to have author Nicole Beauchamp back on the program. Her upcoming book is called Haunted Bars and Pubs of Michigan. We've all been in them. They're all over the state. She's picked out 15 to zero in on, including Abbott's Bar in Southwest Detroit, the Sea Pub in Canterbury Village, Stockyard Barbecue and Brew in Charlotte, Michigan, and a ton more. She sent out over 600 emails and did all sorts of research to put this book together, which comes out later on this year. Let's talk to Nicole and see what Haunted Bars and Pubs of Michigan is really all about. And she's back for round two. Hey, Nicole, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing awesome. First of all, you're in Bay City, but I actually met you in person down. That was in Monroe. Man, that's a hike for you to go down there to Monroe. That was a couple months back.
Yeah, I travel everywhere with the book stuff, so it's not a problem. You know, you can probably find me in various cities throughout Michigan throughout the year.
Yeah, that's right. Well, anyways, we're here to talk about your upcoming book, Haunted Bars and Pubs of Michigan. So first of all, when does this book drop? It's not for a couple months still, right?
Yeah, it's going to come out August 14th. I know it's kind of like, you know, still summer. I don't feel like spooky season really begins until September, if I'm being honest, but yeah. It is launching right before the Michigan Paranormal Convention, so I will have copies of it there. That's going to be up in Sault Ste. Marie, and so that's why I'm trying to get it out, you know, before that, those last couple weekends in August.
Yeah. So are you going to be hosting any events or guest speaking up there at that convention?
It is my dream to someday hold a guest position at the Paracon and do a lecture on that big stage, but this time I will not be speaking, but I will be there to sign and sell books. I will be also operating my traveling spooky spa, which consists of providing massages and energy work for people who are at the convention.
What is it called? You're traveling. What is it? The spooky spa?
Yeah, it's called the Traveling Spooky Spa.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so let's get into the nuts and bolts here of the book, Haunted Bars and Pubs of Michigan. So, of course, the show is called Haunted Michigan. First of all, I don't want you to give too much away, but how many haunted bars and pubs are there in Michigan?
So there are, I believe, 17 that made the book. But it's just 15 different cities across Michigan. So a couple of the cities actually had like two bars that were combined in one location. But yeah, so it spans quite a bit of the state. Unfortunately, there wasn't too much for the thumb, but we got quite a few cities in there.
Do you notice a particular theme between each of the locations?
Yeah, there's a lot of glasses flying off the bars.
Really?
That was challenging to try to not write all the chapters the same way with that kind of I guess same activity happening, but I feel like I did the best that I could do, you know, with it, because I feel like they're all so different. Like each bar has its own story, so to speak. But glasses seem to fly off at pretty much every bar that I wrote about, unfortunately for me.
Yeah. So how much, well, first of all, how long have you been writing this book? How long has it taken you?
Well, I've been a paranormal investigator for over 15 years. And so a lot of this is pretty much information I've collected over the years. But the actual process of writing the book took me 2 months. I had to scramble to write this book because I wrote, like I said, 15 chapters in 2 months. I interviewed each and every place I wrote about in the book. I drove to these places to interview people. I had phone calls. I had, you know, email meetings. And it was a very, very giant undertaking, but we got it done.
Now, what was the first bar or pub that you thought of when you decided to write this book?
The very first one I thought of was what used to be the Stockyard Barbecue and Brew in Charlotte, Michigan. I did a paranormal investigation there in 2014. We got crazy activity. I mean, beyond crazy. And it was just three of us in there at the time when this activity was occurring. So we knew that it was actually legit. And so I pretty much I knew I had to include, that story
Mhm.
within the book.
Tell us, can you tell us the locations of the other ones without giving too much away, or do you want to keep that a secret?
Yeah, I can give a couple away.
Sure.
So we have Abex Bar in Detroit. It's gonna be in there. We
Where is
have
that? Where is that bar?
that is located in Southwest Detroit. So right, I believe in Mexican Town. I think
Okay.
that's what
Right. Yeah.
yep. Uh, so great place to go and then go find a good Mexican restaurant. Um, I also mentioned the Fourth Coast Cider Works and the Sea Pub from Canterbury Village.
Interesting. I know Keith.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
No kidding. Yeah, that's a cool place. I didn't realize that. Now that's the place with the big A-frame ceiling, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a really cool place. So, have you
yeah.
investigated there before?
I have not. It's on the bucket list. But I have done quite a few interviews with some of the staff on site and, other people that have visited the village and got their stories. So there's quite a bit of activity that goes on there. So of course had to include those two bars. And then um there's just many, many bars all the way from Cassopolis all the way up to Manistee. And like I said, I interviewed people, so I got their stories. And so these are all true stories of what people have encountered.
What about the Boneheads bar in Willis? Because there seems to be a lot of talk about that place.
You know what? I've heard so many stories from different people about different bars that
Yeah.
I should write about. Something that's really big for me is consent. I don't want to ever have anybody feel like I'm exploiting their location or whatever. So I reach out to a variety of places that I want to write about. But I only really include the ones that write me back. And I think that that location did not write me back.
Okay.
So they
Fair
are not
enough.
included.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like if somebody owns a place like that, do they want people knowing that it's haunted or could be haunted or whatever the case is? So I completely understand where you're coming from. Was there other
Mhm.
places that you tried to get on without naming names that just didn't respond?
Oh, yes. I would say, oh my God, I probably sent out like 600 emails. I'm not even joking with
Wow.
you. Because, I had 2 months. I had to find 15 haunted bars that would agree to sit down and talk with me. And it was a challenge, but I feel like the locations that were included are people that are extremely proud to be in the book. They're proud of their hauntings, they're proud of the history of their locations. And, I guess they were just the perfect fit for this project.
So did you physically visit all these places working with your book, or did you do Zoom calls or just
Mhm.
phone calls or emails or what?
The locations that were semi close for me, yes, I did go visit. I definitely got a lot of free drinks, so thank you all so much for that. Uh,
That always
killing that
helps. Yeah.
killing that liver early. But but as far as like some of the ones up in Manistee and Cassopolis, I mean that was just a little bit too much of a drive. I worked so much, so I did correspond with through email, talking on the phone, Zoom calls, et cetera, et cetera.
And do people send you like video or pictures or anything along those lines that you included in the book?
Oh yeah, yeah. I got so many cool pictures. Like I was just going through the pictures the other day, and I'm like, I'm just so proud of like all the photos that I amassed with this project. And it was very hard because I had to be really cutthroat about what I was going to include and what I was going to omit. And that was extremely challenging because they were all so good
Mhm.
and interesting. Sometimes you get these books and you open them up and you're like, why would you include that? It's nothing. But I mean, they're not necessarily ghost pictures, but they're cool pictures of the location. They're cool pictures featuring some of the presumed ghosts of the buildings. And they're all around just really good and relevant to each and every story.
Yeah. And of course, once you write a book like this, you probably got people coming out of the woodwork saying, you should have talked to this person. You should have talked to that person, I suppose, right?
Oh, every day I feel like, but I can only do so much.
Right.
And 15 chapters in 2 months with multiple jobs just about killed me.
Hmm.
In fact, the publisher wanted 20, and I'm like, listen, I don't even know. Like 15 is stretching it at this point. Like I don't have time. And like I said, I want to make sure I'm interviewing each and every person from bars and making sure that they're cool with being in a book, because I don't want any lawsuits. I don't want people coming after me. I just want this to be something that when it comes out, like everybody that's in it can be proud of and excited along with me. So
Yeah. And now this could probably be a series then, correct? I mean, you probably got a ton of ammo still left in your cannon there, and you could put out some more, right?
well, it's funny you bring that up. So if anybody out there is listening to me, especially if you're in the UK, I thought, hey, wouldn't that be cool, to do something with this overseas? I mean, there's just unlimited possibilities with what we could do with this kind of project.
Hmm.
In fact, the whole, I guess, inspiration for this project was when I visited the Red Lion pub in Avebury, Wiltshire, UK. Um, and that's supposed to be like a really, really creepy, haunted location. And I went there and I had some cider. And so that kind of, I guess, filled me with inspiration. And so now I'm like, okay, I wanna get back overseas and do stuff with the pubs over there, because the pubs over there are really cool.
Yeah, no doubt. And they have even more of a history over there. I mean, there's ones way older than the ones here.
Yeah, I was looking at that Sean's, I can't remember what it's called, Sean's Pub, Sean's Bar in Ireland. And it's like from 900 AD.
Yeah.
I mean, holy crap. Like, that's just amazing. I have to go there someday. I have to check that out.
Yeah, we're just a wee little blip on the radar of humanity. It's here in the United States that those places go way back.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying that the bars here aren't cool. In fact, I have come to learn that many of them are quite awesome and unique. But there's just a big world out there, and I'm reaching for the stars, I guess you could say.
No, and I can't let you go without at least asking you for one story. So give me a story about a pub that's in the book that that you can wet people's whistle with.
Okay, well, since I started talking about the Stockyard Barbecue and Brew, and I just want to let everybody know that you can still go there today. It's not the Stockyard Barbecue and Brew anymore. It's actually called Fiesta Mexicana. So it's a restaurant and cantina. You can eat there and have a drink there. Um, but when we went there and did our investigation in 2014, we were sitting, we were kind of like investigating these back offices, and we heard what sounded like somebody slapped the windows, and when we went up to inspect, we could kind of see handprints on the windows. Now at this time, we investigated, we looked all over. No, nobody else was on the premises but us, just three of us. So we come back in, and all of a sudden we're hearing what sounds like a dinner party happening. It sounds like there's people talking, music playing, cutlery clanking. I mean, it's noisy enough that we're like, somebody's got to be in here, or a group of people got to be in here. So we rush out to the dining area and the bar area, and nobody is there. So that was really crazy. And in addition to that, while we were sitting, having an EVP session at in the main dining area, there was a camera that was sitting on the bar. Well, we could tell it was kind of getting low on batteries. So my father went up. He was part of our team at the time as our tech manager. And he goes up and he is about to go change the batteries. and all of a sudden the bar stool literally gets picked up and pretty much thrown back down to the ground. And I mean, we're just all like, what just happened? Like, we were there to witness it. It was wild. We ended up getting a shadow figure that evening. It was like this little shadow figure that kind of would scamper back and forth behind the bar, kind of duck down every now and then. And then we saw it running against the wall into the back kitchen. So it was real freaky.
I was going to say, I would have been gone out of there, but you saw it several times, huh?
Yeah, we caught it on film actually twice. And yeah, that place is just loaded with so much activity, and actually the ghost stories associated with that are extremely creepy. So I'm very much looking forward to the book coming out and everybody learning the true ghost stories of, you know, what is now the Fiesta Mexicana restaurant.
And that that again, that's down here in Detroit.
It's in Charlotte, so it's
that's
right
the
by
Charlotte one.
Lansing.
Okay, got you. Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
when you said the Mexicana, I thought it was the Southwest Detroit one, but yeah, near Lansing. Okay.
Yeah.
What other ones do you have here in my area in the Southeast Michigan area around Detroit?
Well, the two would probably be the two bars that are located at Canterbury Village, and then
The one in
Abbott.
Southwest. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you. Yeah. No, yeah, Canterbury Village is a really cool place for nobody that's ever been there. It's it is an old style place. And you say you've never been there, eh?
Oh, I've been there.
Oh.
Yeah. I actually did my headshots for the book at the C Pub.
Oh,
But
okay, that's what I'm thinking of, the Sea Pub. So you're talking about a different place on the grounds.
yeah, so well, both bars I feature in that chapter are the C Pub and the Fourth Coast Cider Works.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I don't know if
yes,
I've
the
ever
C
been
Pub
in
is
the other one.
featured too.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if I've ever been in the other one. I know my friends own the South Line Hotel. I hear stuff about that all the time. There's some
Mhm.
stuff in Wyandotte. I don't know if you're familiar with Wyandotte, but there's some, I guess there's some bars down there that have some activity. Of course, I don't know if it's actually a bar or pub, but the Whitney here in Detroit is also one of those ones that comes up all the time. I guess that's
Yeah.
more like, is that more like a hotel or something? I haven't been there yet.
Well, the Whitney, I actually wrote about that in my last book, so I
Yeah,
don't like to double dip with the books.
right.
So I know some people are going to come at me and be like, "Why didn't you include the ghost bar from the Whitney?" But I mean, I wrote about it in the last book in such extensive detail that, you know, if I'm putting out a new book, I want new content.
Right.
But I almost included the South Line Hotel. Unfortunately, I couldn't get anybody to actually return my calls and emails.
I'm gonna have to talk to Corey and Chris about that. They're gonna hear from me. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, that's well, sorry, Corey, but that's who I spoke with initially.
Oh, really?
I hope he's not mad at me. It's just, you know, and I would have loved to include them, but I'm not going to say, you know, who knows what the future holds. You know, if anything ever comes up again, I would love to, you know, to feature them. And, you know, it seems like a cool place. So,
Yeah. As far as other things that are going on, I just talked to you before we started. You know, I talked to Steve Shippey a couple months back about the Hell House and stuff. Did you watch any of that stuff?
I have not. No, I've been so busy. I work just an ungodly amount of jobs.
Yeah.
So,
Are you familiar with the Hell House?
I'm not. Is it
Oh,
here?
yeah, mid-state Michigan. Yeah, it's this old farmhouse, and apparently it is pretty chaotic. But anything else that you're working on that you can talk about?
I have a book release party that is in the works. So that's going to be September 15th at Coonan's Bar in Bay City. There's going to be special drinks based on the book. We're going to have photo opportunities. I'm going to be there signing and selling the different books that I've written over the years. And it's just going to be like, it's not going to be anything overly formal, just really one big party to celebrate, you know, releasing the book, having this accomplishment, and just, you know, it's called the event is called Slancha Among the Spooks, because it's an Irish bar, of course.
Mhm.
So we're just gonna go get drunk and have a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time to me. Yeah. So, anyways, and of course, that's going to be in the middle of September. So you're going to be getting right into spooky season right there.
I know. Well, I think last year when I host the Haunted Detroit parties, I had them too early because I had them in August,
Hmm.
and I was like, we're not doing that again. So we're definitely going deeper into September. Right when the everybody's looking for, what's going on for spooky season, and they're gonna come across my Slancha Among the Spooks event, and they're gonna want to go. So,
Now, are you a horror movie fan too?
oh God, yes,
Yeah.
I have the portrait of or a painting of the nun rather hanging on my wall in my bedroom.
Yeah, I just
Um,
met her last month. Yeah, in March.
oh yeah, the actress.
Yeah, Bonnie. Yeah, she was great.
Oh, she's awesome. Yeah. I don't know if you know who Brian Danhausen is, but he's
Of course,
a
yeah.
yeah, he's from Metro Detroit, and he did my painting for me. He's an awesome artist. So check him out, everyone. He's awesome.
He came to Astronomicon. I didn't realize this. Dressed as the Terrifier, the clown. What's his name?
Oh,
Art the
art.
Clown. Art
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Clown.
yeah,
And of course, I'd never met Brian before outside of doing a Zoom call like this, and I didn't realize it was him until I saw some of his pictures at social media. I don't know if I would
yeah.
have saw him that day, but yeah. And of course, his son is Danhausen. But yeah, the nun stuff is great. I just watched that again the other day. It's so great.
Yeah, that's a really good movie. I love how it pulls from like I don't know, like the Victorian era in parts. Like what was creepy about the Victorian era. So I think that's kind of cool, like the bells, with the graves and all that.
Yeah,
I like that stuff. It's frightening.
yeah.
But man, that new Terrifier movie was just brutal. I mean, I felt so bad for the victims, and I know they're not even real, but like my empathy started kicking in. I couldn't get some of those scenes out of my head for weeks. I'm
I
like,
uh I
mm.
had I had a 2-word review for that movie. Dumb and fun.
And brutal, just
Yeah, it was
gruesome.
brutal.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
But I saw Infinity Pool. I saw that one. I saw the new Scream, and it kind of reminded me why I stopped watching Scream.
Yeah.
You know, they're all kind of the same, and it's like
Mhm.
Scooby Doo, but in real life. I don't know. It's just that they just seem to bore me after a while, and I don't know. It
I've
didn't.
never gotten into Scream all that much, I hate to say, but I'm a big fan of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original Halloweens.
Yeah,
I like the Conjurings,
yeah.
the Annabelle series. So
Yeah, this Halloween Ends started off with such great potential the first 5 minutes, and then it just crashed and burned after that, as far as I'm concerned.
well, yeah, because it's like the final chapter or whatever. But
Well, then they bring in that kid and stuff, and it's like the
yeah,
first scene where he's watching that kid, and then the whole thing over the banister and whatnot. I'm like, this is gonna be great, and then it just went.
I just kind of like them leaving them open and ended. Like I want to think in my mind the killer's still out there and it can live on for generations to come. I think killing off a killer in a horror movie is kind of dumb because I feel like if you don't kill off the killer, then you have unlimited things that you can do in the future with that.
Yeah,
So that's just my opinion. I mean, obviously anybody can make another movie, but you know, and do what they want, but then it won't really be a part of the official series. So
yeah, I'm looking forward. There's a couple coming up. The one Exorcist movie I'm looking forward to.
mhm.
There's a few of them. I saw the trailers for now that their names escape me, but I will definitely be at the theaters coming up to see some of these new movies. What about you? Do you hit the theaters when they come out or what?
Oh yeah. I very much look forward to them. I thought they were supposed to be coming out with another Conjuring movie, but like I said, I work a lot, so I don't know if that's like just a rumor. But you know what? I They were supposed to come out with a Crooked Man movie.
Mm,
Like it was supposed to be based off the Crooked Man and the Conjuring 2, which I would have loved that because I think the idea of the Crooked Man is so freaking creepy.
yeah.
Um, but I haven't heard any more about that, so I don't know if that project is just like if they just scrapped it because of COVID or what. But I hope that they do something with it in the future. That would
Yeah.
be really awesome.
Well, Nicole, tell you what, we'll cut you loose here. Haunted Bars and Pubs in Michigan drops on August 14th. And we really appreciate you taking some time out and talking with us. It was great to meet you a month or so ago with the guys from the Detroit Paranormal Expeditions. And
Mhm.
I think we spent the whole afternoon pubbing around down at the road. So. But Nicole, good luck with everything, and maybe we'll talk again soon in the fall when spooky season comes around, okay?
All right. Well, thanks so much, and I hope you enjoy your vacation.
Thank you. Nicole Beauchamp, author of the upcoming book, Haunted Bars and Pubs of Michigan. I look forward to diving into that one for sure. Hey, if you're new to the Haunted Michigan series, go back and check out the last episode we did with the guys from Flyer Paranormal, as they've investigated the Orson Star House in Royal Oak, and they tell some awesome stories about that. Plus, Steve Shippey, you've seen him all over the Travel Channel. He did an episode with me back in February about the Hell House in mid-Michigan, which is super intriguing. I'm Meltdown. Thank you so much for checking out Haunted Michigan. Until we do it again.